Are you on the World Tour grind, but consistently getting knocked out first, second round, never making it to the end? If that sounds like you, then this video is here to give you tips and advice to help you overcome what is holding you and your team from winning the finals and getting those sweet emerald rewards at the end. First off, if you find these tips helpful that I'm about to go over, then please leave a like and consider subscribing too. It really does help. And if you agree or disagree with any of the points I make in the video, or even if you have any of your own advice or tips to share, be sure to comment those down below. A lot of things I noticed when I'm playing the finals is that people tend to blame each other and never take accountability for their actions. People are always quick to point the finger and say the teammates did or didn't do this or that, or the enemy teams are too sweaty or cheating. Even if you do have Ruby teams in your lobby, you can still get further than round 1, so don't let that defeat you before you even begin. You may very well be a crack shot, a beamer, a giga chad, but without following these 3 simple things, you won't get far. One thing a lot of players will overlook is patience. Patience can be the difference between a first round knockout and going on to win the finals. If you lack patience, you lack knowledge, and in turn stumps your progression. How many times have you had to full send in the last minute to try and get the points to qualify, just to get shut down and knocked out first round? Let's imagine it's the last cash box of the round. You're sitting in the bottom 2, you have 1 minute to get in there, kill everyone, get the cash box. Without patience, your odds are stacked against you. In these situations, you do have time. You don't need to run past all the teams, nosedive straight into the cash box and go for the steal. 9 out of 10 times, this will get you nowhere. Just ends up with you being wiped, spectating, as someone else takes that cash box for themselves, and you're out. You need to be able to take a step back, think, and approach this with some tactics. First, you need to check the leaderboard. Look how many teams are at the fight, how many are wiped, which team's damage is going up, which isn't. This will all give you a good idea to see who's probably going to be at that fight and who isn't going to be there. If you have the patience here, there's still time. Let the enemy teams fight it out. Get each other low. Use their gadgets and abilities. And when you notice a few are starting to get kills, now is your time to head in and clear up the rest and get the dub. This is just one example of why patience plays such a big role in the finals. You need to remember you do have time. Use it well and use it to your advantage. The second thing I want to talk about is game sense and adaptability. Game sense and adaptability is what makes a good player a great player. Game sense gives you the best possible chance of knowing what's going to happen, where it may happen, and how to react. In simple words, game sense is controlling the map in your mind. Without game sense, if you possess great aim and mechanics, it can only take you so far against people who can predict every single move you do and outmaneuver you every single time. As the finals is an evolving level of destruction and mayhem, adaptability is what is going to give you the chance to change the way you play or act in a given situation and get one step ahead of your opponents as your original plans don't go the way you wanted them to. You don't need to sit in the room with a cash box for a minute and wait for the team to come in and fight. You need to model the area the way that best suits you. Drop the cash box a floor or two to get high ground advantage. Place mines indoors and stairs, where enemies will come from. Listen to your surroundings. Do you hear jump pads, zip lines, footsteps? All these small audio cues will let you know the enemy is here and what they are doing, and you can adapt to that situation. Don't hide in a corner, aim at a doorway for a whole minute. Try different things, experiment, mold the area to how it benefits you and not the enemy team. If you know the enemy team have demat and they like to demat and drop the cash box, take that advantage from them by blowing floors, opening it up for yourself. Don't just assume they'll rush straight in to fight you. Always have an idea planned out in your head. Where is the most likely place it will come from? Is there any buildings higher than me? How many windows are in my room where they can throw gas, grenades? Do I have somewhere to reposition if things aren't going my way? All these things need to be taken into account for every interaction you have in this game. One strategy won't always work. You need to adapt and change as the game does in order to progress. The third and most important thing I want to talk about is working with your team. The Finals is a 3-player competitive style shooter. I've played countless lobbies where you get the one guy who just likes to run in Call of Duty style, run in and gun in, only to get shredded in the process. This knocks us back as we now have to try and get his token, and we're already at a 2v3 disadvantage against his team. Teamwork makes the dream work, as they say. You have strength in numbers, and you need to use this in every aspect of the game. How many times have you played with Jimmy the Light or Billy the Medium? He's racking up kills left, right and centre, and has left you and your teammate to defend on your own. Or if a teammate has gone off on their own to try and fight a full team, only to get killed in 2 seconds. But even with this Rambo COD Super Solo Survivor, he may be giving you kills, you still notice you're at the bottom of the leaderboard. Kills don't get you wins, teamwork does. If you're a solo player, you need to stick to your teammates like literal glue. You are a third wheel, where they go, you go. If you win together. If you die together. Even sometimes straying 1 or 2 rooms away from them can get you killed if you're unlucky, and then they're left to fend for themselves, whilst you sit there watching as the health bars go down or your cash box gets stolen. Look at what loadouts and gadgets your team are bringing. Let's say you play a medium and you're with 2 heavies. Heavies are slow, they need the movement. You want to be bringing gadgets that can help them move around the map as quick as possible, like jump pad, zipline or DMAT, open walls and floors for them. Or maybe bring heal beam if they're minigun or melee, for example, and they rely on those extra heals. Or even if there is another medium on your team who's using jump pad, can you really rely on him and hope he'll be using that jump to benefit himself? So he can bounce into a full team of 3, therefore you can't get to him and get the body? You should always have at least one type of movement gadget with you as a medium if you're an average player. If you're heavy, do you bring some defensive gadgets for your team, like dome shield, barricades, mesh shield? Pick your loadouts that best complement your team. If you're a light, are you running the H+ infusion to keep your team's HP topped up? Do you have motion sensor to give you and your teammates a benefit knowing where enemy players may or may not be? Are you bringing gateway to help you and your team maneuver quicker, get high ground, move the cash box? I could literally talk about teamwork all day. Without teamwork, you aren't going to get very far. Pick what works for you and also what benefits your teammates. Stick with them like you are tied at the ankles. Don't always assume though that they will do the same. You need to be able to react and adapt just as equally as on your own, because if your teammates do run off and leave you or you get separated, you need a way to get back to them or hold off the team whilst they get back to you. If you're able to adapt these 3 things I've spoken about into each and every round, every interaction, every fight, you will notice change in the way that things start going in your favor. You will feel that sigh of relief as you win more fights, win more rounds, win more tournaments, and overall just grow into a better player for you and for your team. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate the time you've taken to listen to the advice I got to offer. That's it for this video, and I will see you in the next one.